Manila unleashes new naval giant as South China Sea tensions with Beijing continue to escalate. She sees red as another U.S. ally boosts its naval power with a major new warship. New: the Philippines' maritime combat reach amid growing regional tensions. China's warning to USA looms larger as Washington's allies rapidly strengthen their military capabilities. Philippines launched its third Tarlac-class landing platform dock amid continuing security tensions and military modernization efforts in the South China Sea. Point. PAL Indonesia has formally launched the vessel that will enter service with the Philippine Navy as BRP Ilocos Norte. Philippine Navy Chief Jose Maria Ambrosio Quayachan described the new ship as a major enhancement to the Navy's amphibious and sealift capabilities. The improved design incorporates lessons from earlier vessels, featuring a larger vehicle deck and more efficient logistics handling to support military and humanitarian missions. Class: enhanced Tarlac-class landing platform dock designed for amphibious warfare and strategic sealift missions. Builder: constructed by PT PAL Indonesia for the Philippine Navy under a bilateral defense cooperation program. Length: measures 124 meters, providing ample space for troops, vehicles, helicopters, and support equipment. Displacement: approximately 7,200 tons at full load, allowing it to carry substantial personnel and cargo. Sun operational range of about 9,360 nautical miles, enabling extended deployments without frequent refueling. Endurance: can remain at sea for up to 30 days, supporting long-duration military and humanitarian operations. Capable of reaching speeds of up to 16 knots during transit and operational deployments. PT PAL said global supply chain disruptions and procurement challenges delayed the construction timeline of the ship and pushed back its planned delivery schedule. With the launch now complete, BRP Ilocos Norte will move into the outfitting phase before undergoing harbor acceptance trials and sea trials ahead of its planned delivery to the Philippine Navy. Primary missions: conducts amphibious assault operations and transports troops, vehicles, and military equipment. Strategic role: provides strategic sealift capability and logistics support for sustained military deployments. Secondary mission: supports humanitarian assistance and disaster relief operations during natural disasters and emergencies. Operational capability: enables rapid reinforcement and resupply of remote islands and forward-deployed forces. Well deck: equipped with a well deck to launch and recover landing craft for amphibious operations. Features a full flight deck and hangar capable of operating medium-sized helicopters. Its sister ship, BRP Leyte, is also under construction and will further expand the Philippine Navy's growing amphibious warfare and sealift capability. Together, the two vessels are expected to significantly improve Manila's ability to transport troops, equipment and supplies across remote islands and contested maritime areas during both military and humanitarian operations. The program also highlights the deepening defense-industrial partnership between the Philippines and Indonesia as both countries continue expanding regional defense cooperation. China has accused Japan of pursuing what it calls a dangerous path toward new militarism, as tensions between the two countries continue to escalate. Beijing has now imposed export restrictions on 40 Japanese companies over goods that can be used for both civilian and military purposes. The move comes after Japan protested joint China-Russia bomber patrols near its airspace. Tokyo has also accused Chinese Coast Guard vessels of entering its exclusive economic zone. Adding to the growing friction, Japan has announced the deployment of missile launchers on its easternmost island, further raising regional security concerns. Major differences over Taiwan continue to remain one of the biggest obstacles between China and Japan. Tensions escalated after Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi warned that a conflict over Taiwan could threaten Japan's very survival. Japan is rapidly expanding its military capabilities as concerns grow over China's rising military power. Tokyo has announced the deployment of missile launchers on its easternmost island. Japan has increased its defense budget by 9.4% this year to around $58 billion. Tokyo is also moving toward its goal of spending 2% of its GDP on defense. Japanese officials say the military buildup is necessary to counter growing security threats from China and North Korea. Beijing, however, has accused Tokyo of interfering in China's internal affairs over Taiwan. In response, China has imposed a series of diplomatic and economic measures against Japan. Beijing has reduced flights, suspended exchanges, and kept its ban on Japanese seafood firmly in place. Chinese tourism, cultural exchanges, and business links have suffered as tensions between Beijing and Tokyo continue to deepen. Despite growing frictions, two-way trade between China and Japan still exceeds $320 billion annually. Both sides are now looking toward a possible meeting between Xi Jinping and Sanai Takaichi at this year's APEC summit. However, Beijing insists Tokyo must soften its position on Taiwan before relations between the two countries can improve. On June 30th, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi held a phone call with his American counterpart, using the conversation to set out Beijing's expectations for how the relationship should be managed in the months ahead. According to the Chinese readout, Wang Yi explicitly urged the United States to handle Taiwan with utmost caution, underlining that any misstep on the issue could have far-reaching consequences for bilateral ties. He also stressed that both the US and China need to stay on course to maintain a relationship of strategic stability, suggesting that managing competition without sliding into conflict remains a priority for Beijing. Wang Yi said, and I quote, "Building a constructive relationship of strategic stability is not just a slogan. It requires action, moving towards each other and persistent efforts. To this end, both sides should lengthen their cooperation list, create more positive agendas, while simultaneously reducing their list of issues and managing various risks and hidden dangers. The Taiwan issue has far-reaching implications. We hope the US will treat Taiwan-related affairs with utmost caution." Both sides agreed that the call between the two foreign ministers was positive and constructive, and agreed to work together to implement the important consensus reached by the two heads of state and continue to maintain communication in a flexible manner. End quote. Notably, this marks the second time in a short span that China has urged the US to exercise special caution on Taiwan, reinforcing the sense that Beijing is drawing a firm line and repeating its warnings intentionally. In an earlier bilateral meeting, Xi Jinping personally warned Donald Trump against backing Taiwan in ways that challenge the One China principle, making clear that such moves would be seen as direct interference in China's internal affairs. Xi is reported to have cautioned that if the US acts on certain interests in Taiwan, particularly those seen as promoting independence or deeper military ties, it could risk triggering a direct conflict between the two major powers.